Well, if eating healthier is one of your New Year's priorities, you are probably finding out right about now that it does take a little extra effort, right? A little planning can go a long way. And this morning, joining us now live via Zoom, registered dietitian Amber Gourley to talk meal prep and planning. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
Good to be talking with you this morning. You said this is really a perfect time now that we probably have this extra day, this snowed in day, to at least sort of start planning. Why is that so important?
You know, a lot of clients come into our office and they really are struggling with making eating better food a priority. And part of that is because they're not planning properly. You know, we do live in a world where we get busy and a lot of us have kids and outside obligations. So, you know, an hour or two spent planning can make all the difference when it comes to making better choices throughout the week.
And I think some people might be saying, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. You're talking about all these assembly lines and this cut up vegetables everywhere and taking over my kitchen. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that organized.
No, yes. Don't look at the Instagram meal preppers. You'll probably get a little overwhelmed. And, you know, sometimes we question if they're actually doing all of that work, right? It's really more about being smarter with the time that you have and using, you know, your money and your time appropriately. So for example, if you have a little bit more money than time, maybe you're going to pick up those pre-cut vegetables at the grocery store versus spending the 30 minutes it's going to take to cut them in your kitchen at home at night.
Okay, that's wonderful advice. And how important is it to sort of meal plan for the week if you have those weekends sort of set aside?
I think it can be very important and helpful, especially if, you know, you're getting home at 6 o'clock and you're tired, or you have, you know, after school activities with your kids. Being able to come home and knowing exactly what you're going to eat, having it ready in 30 minutes or less is really going to be the big difference between going to a sit-down restaurant or driving through the fast food, right? And so looking at what your week is going to look like when you have a few minutes on Saturday or Sunday, and just picking 3 meals that you could do at home. That's typically what I recommend people start with. It's just 3 meals and prepping those for the week.
Okay, and when you're saying those 3 meals, I'm guessing that protein source as, you know, sort of that main anchor on that meal really important.
Yes, so I definitely like to, when we're talking about meal planning, using foods that can be, or proteins, for example, that can be integrated into all 3 meals. That decreases your waste and you prep less. So, you know, maybe one night you have a chicken chili, which would be wonderful today, right? And then the next night you do oven roasted chicken. And then the third night, you know, maybe you do a soup or something or a casserole, right? You mentioned casseroles a minute ago with that leftover chicken. And you're using those ingredients, but in different ways, so people aren't getting tired of eating the same thing 3 days in a row.
Yeah, one of the things we like to do on the weekends is get that crock pot out and really get some of that main substance kind of going so that it can last us through the week, like you said, in those different ways.
Yes, Crockpot is a wonderful tool, especially for those people that are out of the house all day. Now, I know a lot of us are doing more work from home than we did before, and so maybe we can get in the kitchen, you know, on a break and prep some things. But if you're away from home all day, having those ingredients ready that you can just toss in the Crockpot and walk out the door in the morning is a fantastic way to plan your week.
All right. Any other advice, Amber, for our viewers out there that are trying to keep good health and wellness at the top of their list?
Yeah, start small. It's our tendency to go, you know, we have to do things at 100%. But, you know, I like to back that down and say, okay, what are the, you know, the 1 or 2 things that we can do, or the 1 or 2 meals that we can plan consistently. And then once that becomes habit, then you add, you know, maybe a 3rd meal on, or another layer to your meal planning, and build slowly versus trying to go all in at the beginning.
All right. Certainly some great advice. Amber, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. Some good information.
Thank you so much, Amy.
And don't forget, she's got a great website if you want to check it out or give their office a call. It is healu.co for more information. We'll be right back.